Hello, Pauper fans. This is Mathonical. You're joining me for round 7 of the Pauper Challenge with some BorosSS Monarch. We're currently 5-1, if I remember correctly. Yes, we are. And with this one, if we win, we are definitely top 8. If we lose, we're a bit behind on the breakers, so it'd be really iffy if we're going to make top 8. So we definitely want to win this just to guarantee we're in that top 8 status. And with that, our opening hand is quite nice. Lots of removal, so we should be able to deal with most decks being able to keep this. Starting on our red tap source, since we have an untapped plains, possibly thinking of cycling that. Of course, our opponent is playing mono blue Delver. Miscreant, we're going to bolt that right off the bat and play a Prophetic Prism. There was the option of playing the Glint Hawk there, but of course, since our opponent had 2 islands open, I don't want to play into a Spellstutter Sprite. That is not a good plan for us. Our opponent does take a look at our hand, so here I am going to go for the Glint Hawk. If our opponent went to try and go for a Spellstutter Sprite, we have plenty of burn to deal with that. Of course, our opponent ended up having a counter spell to just make sure it's gone. Palace Sentinels is a nice one, but I really don't want to get hit by multiple Spellstutter Sprites, so we're going to play it safe. Player Husk is fine. I guess this might be a stand-in for Bone Splitters or anything like that. It also is a creature, so nice. Spire Golem for free. We have plenty of answers for that. We'll take our beats, 1 damage at a time. We're going to go for the Galvanic Blast at the end step. Turns out they have a Vapor Snag to just bounce back their hand. So now that we know what their plan is, for the most part, we're going to try and play a Palace Sentinels. And our opponent does have a Deprive. Alright, so now they have 1 island hand and a Spire Golem. Expecting to see a Spire Golem here. And there it is, and a Delver. Alright. We're going to go ahead and bolt the Delver, play the Journey to Nowhere, get rid of that. So now it's a Germ versus a Lightning Bolt. Augur Bolas is a good pickup for our opponent. Doesn't find anything though, so, you know. Advantage bar is kind of hovering in the middle right now. Glint Hawk is what we want to get, but they have their last card being a counter spell. We're just going to bolt the Augur now. We don't want a ninja coming in and getting them the card advantage. Kor Skyfisher is nice. Only a counter spell would be able to do that, and they don't have another one, thankfully. So we get to get our engines online and get multiple creatures down. Miscreant. Yep. What we can try and do here is bolt the Miscreant, but we might as well draw through, see what's going on, and then we will bolt it here. It is possible for them to have a spell stutter. Oh, no, they just drew a snap for the turn. Alright. Going to play our Alchemist Vial to get another trigger, and we're going to swing in for 6. Our opponent didn't chump block there, a little surprising to me, and now we know all the contents of our opponent's hand. It would have been nice to have some kind of action there since we knew it was going to resolve. But swinging in is still nice enough. I don't mind if our opponent swings back. We're currently winning this race handily. And they're just suiting up their Aberration, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me, since now we're like being able to draw an additional card from the Thraben Inspector. We're just kind of looking for some sort of burn, preferably a Galvanic Blast. But anything was going to do, what we're going to do is just Vial the Aberration so they can't block, swing in for a bit of damage, and blast their face. And that is indeed game number 1. Alright. How does game number 2 go against Mono Blue Delver? We're going to go with bringing the 2 Electrickeries and the 2 Pyroblast, take out the 4 Thraben Inspectors, and call it done. Taking a look at our opening hand is a capable one, plenty of removal. Prophetic Prism plus Kor Skyfisher. This card is amazing in the matchup, so we are happily keeping this one. Our opponent takes 2 damage to take a look at our awesome hand. I don't mind. Our opponent could have Daze here, and I don't really mind. It does set them back, and we can just go for another bolt the next turn. Our opponent shows that they have a Vapor Snag, so they could Vapor Snag it. That's fine. Well, now they can't. So we're just going to try and bolt it again. This time we're going to play around Daze just to make sure it gets removed. And I don't really want... we could have played an untapped land to play the Prophetic Prism guaranteed, but I do want it to resolve. Let's just go for it here. Looks like they don't feel like counterspelling it, so that's good for us. We're playing it a bit on the slow side, but I want to play around days as much as possible. Our opponent isn't playing anything, so my assumption is they have Spellsetter sprites without ninjas and possibly some dazes. Here comes a counterspell. Alright. I do like having the Seeker. That means we'd win any racing situation, given the contents of our hand. Our opponent shows us another counterspell. So we're just not going to play the Oblivion Ring. Well, we could play the Oblivion Ring and grab the Bone Splitter if they tried to bounce it in response, but I'd rather just play the Prophetic Prism. It makes our Seeker able to swing past their Augur, so we're just going to do that now. Playing the Oblivion Ring, daring them to bounce their creature. They just end up using a counterspell, so yeah, that's fine. This would be an opportunity for our opponent to get in and transform it into a ninja, which they do end up doing. So now we know they have an Augur in hand. If they play the Augur, then it means that they don't have counterspell up. So here, I'm just going to leave my creature back, since if I played the Journey, it would get countered, and there wouldn't be much I could do about that. Opponent cashes in the Vapor Snag to get in an extra hit, so that's not ideal for us, but we should be able to get through that. Down comes the Augur again, and misses, so luck is on our side with the Augurs today. We're going to go for the Journey here, and our opponent lets it resolve, so it's possible that pretty sure they still have a counterspell. They end up using a Vapor Snag, which makes sense. Does mean that, since they only have 1 mana open, that we're able to use a lot of our things here. For example, getting down our Seeker and being able to use an Electrickery on their Fairy Miscreant. I don't want them ninjing on a flying creature. Here they equip the Bone Splitter. I'm just going to prevent it from attacking. I don't want them being able to get a ninjutsu off. We try to play a Seeker, but our opponent is playing some Psychic Barrier, so some interesting tech this time. We're going to take a little extra damage. But now we get to play our Glint Hawk. Bounce an artifact, replay it. The usual thing. Our Seeker is now big enough for us to attack if we want to, and offer the trade. Our opponent does decline. I was actually quite surprised that our opponent declined there. I suppose they were just playing around that we could have a spell, which we were representing. Opponent plays out their hand, and we really do want to get some kind of draw chain going here, and we got lucky. We Alchemist Vial into Electrickery, and this is a bit brutal. It's going to take out a few of their creatures. We're going to be able to swing in for a fairly big swing. They're forced to chump block. Not exactly, but they're basically forced to chump block. We're going to stop their ninja from drawing them a card. I want to keep them off cards as much as possible. We're going to chip in for 2 damage and keep the Seeker back with the intention of blocking the ninja. Taking a few beats from the Germ is fine by me. We'll make the block. Could it be reasonable to keep back both creatures, assume they draw nothing, and swing in for the win? But I would much rather just kind of block their creatures, prevent as many draws as possible. We're going to swing in. I'm pretty sure they don't have this counterspell in hand, so we're just going to play out that Kor Skyfisher. We're actually going to get the Journey here. I don't want to be trading my Kor Skyfisher for their ninja, so I'd rather just take it off the battlefield, and we've got 2 lethal threats with them having no way of drawing additional cards. Does end up working out, and that means we are guaranteed for the top 8. So I will see you in the quarterfinals.